we have an option of either waiting for the governor to give us a date, or to cancel the resolution, and by canceling the resolution, we would also cancel the referendum at this time. Is that's what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir. I think you have those two options. I will tell you that option one, waiting for the governor, I think is very clear. I think the road to, or the procedure to be used to cancel a referendum is less clear, but I honestly cannot imagine the necessity of holding a referendum if the school board no longer wants to hold the referendum. So should that be y'all's decision, I feel comfortable that we can implement that for y'all.
When you say that we can, we no longer want to hold the referendum, that means that we cannot hold a referendum at a later time, a different time. That means that we won't hold a referendum. We possibly won't hold a referendum whenever the governor sets a date. I just want to be clear on that.
Yes, sir. I think the action that y'all would take is that your decision would be to not go forward with the referendum previously approved by the board. I do not believe that would prevent you from coming forward at an appropriate time that y'all would decide for a different referendum, another referendum, but basically the referendum that y'all previously approved, we would try to have that taken off of the books and off of the calendar.
Oh. This is Keith Dunn. May I ask a question? So if the referendum was canceled, or a motion made to cancel the referendum and associated action, that will null and void the resolution and plan to do with the referendum. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's my understanding.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Evans, go ahead.
This is Brad Evans. I would like to make a motion to strongly encourage, or to make a motion to cancel this upcoming referendum with with the previous approved referendum. I'd like to cancel this referendum due to the economic uncertainty in our county and our state, and with the COVID-19 virus that is really going to set a lot of folks back. So I'd like to, again, reiterate, I'd like to move that we cancel the previously approved resolution to hold a referendum this year.
Mr. Chairman, this is Brandon Adger. I second that motion.
It's been moved and second that we cancel the approved resolution and referendum that we had previously adopted. In discussion on this? Any discussion?
I have one question.
Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Now, this means that the $63 million referendum will not be held at any time, right?
I would refer that question to Ms. Heiser and then back to us.
I think the answer is that if you vote to cancel the previously ordered referendum, if you rescind that resolution, the board would have to take another action at a later date to have a new referendum. So it doesn't preclude a referendum, but it would have to come back to the board, and you'd be starting totally new and brand new, starting all over again.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I do have some discussion. I just want to be clear, because we, in light of this motion and with all that's going on in our county and state, certainly want to make sure I just want to make sure we understand that this is not to say we're not going to do anything at some time, because we spent a lot of funds to get where we are, and hopes that in the future we can move when the time is right and we have a plan in place, we can again move forward with the referendum.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is Brandon Adger. I agree with that. I think that we just got to take a step back. Also believe, like Mr. Evans said, that we have spent a lot of time and a lot of resources to the point that we are now. And I truly believe that we need to do something to better our facilities at our schools. However, I'm sure the tax base will be down this year due to the COVID-19. And the main thing is we need to make sure that we take care of our teachers and our staff, and that we do have the proper funds available to get through this difficult time, not only for our staff, but just for the community as a whole. So I just kind of agree with what's been said.
This is Marvin Peoples.
Mr. Peoples, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. Peoples.
I'm in agreement, but I'm hoping that the board would, when the time is right, that we seriously consider doing something and then not cherry pick to waste time.
Okay. Any other discussions?
Yeah, this is Keith Dunn.
Okay, Mr. Dunn, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to say that, I agree and will vote for the motion, but I just want to state that, we do have PPI still involved. They are, I think, currently working through capital improvement program for our facilities overall. We should get some information on that pretty soon, is my understanding. So, at that time thereafter, we can discuss and maybe take a step back and look and see where we fit into the big picture. But, it was reiterated to me during this time, even last week, that, that honestly the referendum as it was didn't seem to have a lot of good support in the public. And that, ultimately the past several days or a couple of weeks have more or less, I don't know if that's what's convinced people or if they were convinced already. If it had been a good motion or a good idea in the first place, people may have embraced it even during these times. So I appreciate Mr. Evans bringing that motion. I do look forward to getting a new plan in place that would be more suitable for our district.
Any other board members? Okay.
Mr.
All those
Tisdale.
in favor?
Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Tisdale.
Rescinding the resolution and withdrawing the referendum. Let it be known by Mrs. Mills. Call the roll.
Mr. Tisdale, may I just ask a clarification? This is Dr. Fowler.
Okay.
This is really for Ms. Heiser. I want to make sure what the motion was and that it has what it needs in it.
Okay.
Mr. Evans stated that based on the uncertainty, the economic uncertainty due to COVID-19, I think is what he said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Evans.
No, that's correct.
That you were making a motion that the referendum
The previously approved referendum be canceled.
Previously approved referendum be canceled. So my question to Ms. Heiser is, do we also need a statement that says the something about the resolution that was adopted is repealed, or like I just want us to make sure that we have in the motion what you need to be able to work on the board's behalf.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fowler. I think if your motion has three parts to the action, obviously the reason is because of the economic uncertainty and the health crisis. Maybe three specific things. One is to repeal the previously adopted resolution ordering the referendum, and two, to declare that the school board would like to cancel the previously approved referendum And number 3, to authorize Dr. Fowler to take all necessary action in order to cause the cancellation of the referendum. So those 3 things, I think, should cover anything that we would need to do in order to effectively cancel the previously approved referendum.
So, Ms. Heiser, can you expound on the third one about giving the superintendent the authority? I'm assuming that you're meaning that that is to work with you moving forward.
Yeah, as I said, the precedent, the legal precedent for canceling a referendum is lacking. That we're really in sort of uncharted territory. So we may need to have conversations on behalf of the school district with the governor's office, with the state election commission. We might need to ask for an attorney general's opinion. Yeah, I'm hopeful that it won't be that difficult or complicated, but it would be helpful for me to have you, the superintendent, authorized to work with me to do what we need to do to have the wishes of the board implemented, which is to not hold the previously approved referendum.
Okay, thank you.
This is done again. This is Keith.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
Do we need to reread the motion as stated and make sure that Ms. Heisner and the superintendent are satisfied that that the intent of the board is being taken forward, and that the superintendent has the authority to act on behalf of the board to make this action happen? Do we need to reread
Mr.
that?
Tisdale, I'm sorry, this is Andrea White. I had sent Dr. Fowler a proposed motion that encompasses all that Ms. Heiser has said needs to be in the motion. And Dr. Fowler, do you have that?
I am looking at it right now.
Okay, that you could provide to one of the board members to read, and I think that has all 3 of the provisions that need to be in the motion.
And if, Mr. Chairman, if Dr. Fowler will email that to me, I'll be happy to amend my motion or what I need.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just waiting on the email.
Okay.
I'm forwarding it.
Finish it.
I'm forwarding it to you right now.
This is David Brooks, Mr. Tisdale.
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
Would it be easier, rather than amending, to just have them take back the first motion and reread the second motion? I don't know which is easier. I'm fine with either way. I'm just asking.
It would probably be easier for Mr. Evans to withdraw his motion.
I would
withdraw.
I withdraw that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I withdraw my second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, then go ahead. Let's move in that direction. If it's if Attorney White is agreeable to that.
I think that's the cleanest way to do it, Mr. Tisdale, is to have them withdraw and then restate with the motion that Dr. Fowler is sending to Mr. Evans right now.
And I have that motion. Mr. Chair, I'd like to. Excuse me.
Go ahead, Mr. Evans.
I move that the board adopt the following resolution. The board has determined that because of the current uncertainty resulting from the health care and economic crisis, it is not in the best interest of the Abbeville County School District or the community to proceed with the referendum previously ordered pursuant to the resolution adopted by the board on February the 11th, 2020. Therefore, the board resolves as follows. The April 28, 2020 referendum ordered by the district is canceled. 2. The resolution adopted by the board on February the 11th, 2020, ordering the referendum is repealed in its entirety. And 3. The superintendent is hereby authorized to take any and all actions necessary to cause the cancellation of the referendum.
I second that motion.
Okay, it has been moved and second. I think we all heard the motion. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. We've already had a discussion. Do we need to have a discussion on this motion?
I think you have to ask that, Mr. Tisdale. This is David.
Okay. Well, we will go ahead in the discussion of this motion. All right.
This is Keith. I would just like my previous points made in the discussion of the withdrawn motion to be included.
Okay. All right. Then, all in favor of the motion, let it be known when Ms. Mims call the roll. If you approve the motion, Ms. Mims.
Mr. Adger,
Yes.
Mr. Brooks,
I'm in favor.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Tisdale,
In favor.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Peoples,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
I think all what I heard, if I heard correctly, all of us approved it. So there's no opposed. The motion is carried. We're down to 2.
Well, I have a statement I need to make before we move on, if I may.
Okay. What? Make your statement. I'm not quite clear, but go ahead and make your statement.
My statement is when the time is right, that we all work in good faith to do something for the students, and that the time that we have now until we begin to work on it, that we bring about peace and harmony in the community, and that nobody loses or wins. It is the children that lose and children that win. And I know I heard a comment earlier that who was the majority being for or being against. I'm hoping we can work at a unification with the board as one in coming up with a plan that will best suit the county.
Okay, Ms. Adger. Mr. Peoples. We'll move to 2. Thank you for your comment.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, this is Brad Evans. I just want clarification. We spent a lot of time on the referendum, but the board seat date, again, that is going to be determined by the governor. Am I correct?
To my understanding, now Ms. Hyde is still online, but to my understanding, that is the case.
Okay.
Ms. Hyde, is she still online?
She may not be on the line, but that is what I have